I'm Sam from Cultaholic.com, and this is Graded for Friday Night SmackDown, where I take a look at the show segment by segment and award each little bit a grade from A+ to F. Obviously, it's Survivor Series this Sunday, and we're building up to it, so there's probably gonna be some more crossovers because there's been fighting and stuff happening across all the shows. It's actually looking like it's gonna be an exciting Survivor Series. Like, I'm looking forward to it more than any Survivor Series since 2001. I can't go any higher. Without any further ado, let's crack on with Graded. Hits the intro. So Corbin opens the show and he's being carried to the ring on a throne sedan. He gets in the ring and he is flanked by Roode and Ziggler, and he essentially just reiterates his points from last week. Roman's lost the locker room, he's the new locker room leader, this ain't Roman's yard anymore, this is Corbin's kingdom. Ziggler and Roode then hype up their match against Ali and Shorty G, in which they are going to beat them and take their places at Survivor Series, and then Corbin's like, you know what, well, now that I'm the leader of the Survivor Series team, I should probably invite my teammate Roman Reigns down, we're gonna have to get along. And he invites Roman down, and then Roman's music hits, and out comes a guy in a dog suit, and Roman's theme, you know, the better, it's changed to barks. It's like bark, bark, bark. It's really, really weird. Once he's in the ring, Corbin makes him like do tricks like sit and stay and shake hands and stuff, and I'm gonna give this a B-. Yes, it was mental. Yes, I felt like I accidentally ingested meth while I was watching this, but it was kind of funny in a juvenile way. And as a video editor, I really enjoy attention to detail. It's something that really, really excites me, and so when they redubbed over Roman's theme with the little dog yaps, it just made me happy, made me all warm and fuzzy inside. And then we go straight into the first match of the night, which is Shorty G and Mustafa Ali. That's right, he's got his full name back, folks, against Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. Sorry, Robert Roode. Ali and G take control straight away. They establish dominance early on. Ziggler and Roode do get some offense in, but it's like whenever they get on the front foot, they don't quite have it long enough to establish control. Corbin, watching them get their asses kicked a little bit, distracts Ali, and this allows Roode to push Ali into the announce table. So straight off the apron, just sort of chest first into the announce table. Roman's music then hits, like the actual Roman's music. Roman comes down, the actual Roman, not the Roman dog suit man Roman, and we go into the break. We get back from the break and Ziggler and Roode have managed to maintain control, even at one point Ali eating a famouser. Roode and G get hot tags, and then G just starts really going full ham on Roode. G is almost put away though with a sort of zigzag spinebuster combination thing that looked really cool, but Ali manages to make the save. Eventually though, Corbin tries to interfere. He sort of tries to hand his scepter to Roode. Roman at this point is like no, hits him with a drive-by, nails him with a spear, everything breaks down a little bit, and then when we go back into the ring, the faces do it. That's right, G and Ali do that cool ass double team finish where it's like the roll through suplex into a 450 and they pick up the win. I'm gonna give this one a B+. I enjoyed it once it sort of hit its stride. I think bringing Roman out there and putting him in with Corbin and letting them sort of interact, that really added a lot to the match for me. And G and Ali demonstrated some pretty strong teamwork here, which just, I guess, adds to their credentials ahead of the Survivor Series match as team players. And it's then time for Firefly Fun House, and when we get to the Fun House, Bray stood there with his Universal title on the table, and he's like, something just doesn't feel right. And he spins around and he turns into a magician with a little top hat and magic wand, and he taps the title, and it goes from red to blue. Have a look at it. I'm gonna flash it up on screen now. Look at that. How good does that look? It's great. He tells us that his favorite show, Miz TV's coming up later tonight, and he's gonna be watching very closely. And he will also be watching too. And then real quick before we go back to the ring, Ziggler and Roode are backstage and they're really miffed at Corbin. They're like, come on man, what's the problem? But then we go back to the ring for Braun Strowman versus Drew Gulak. And Drew Gulak this week has brought protection. Protection against Strowman in the form of the B team. Gulak here is looking dapper with a shaved head. He's just sort of took his hair right down, looks super serious. Good guy. Braun comes out, and then obviously once again Gulak has a slideshow, but this time it's not about not dying at the hands of Tyson Fury, it's about why Drew Gulak should replace Braun Strowman at Survivor Series. Gulak then tells Braun that he might think he knows everything, but he's still got a lot to learn, and then the B team and Gulak jump Strowman, and oh god, you can see where this is going. Gulak peels out of there, the B team get murdered. This one gets a C-. Any segment with Gulak is always a pleasure. I absolutely love Drew Gulak, but this one sort of just felt a little little bit pointless, just a little bit. I mean, I'm all about him versus Braun if we actually get a match with some time and we get to see some technical expertise up against some just powerhouse brutality, but I think we're gonna have to wait a while to get there if ever it's actually gonna really happen. There's then a real quick shot here of the New Day backstage just before they sort of head to the ring for their match, and they're asked, you know, are you gonna have any trouble defending the titles without Xavier there tonight? And they're like, no, like Xavier's always here with us in spirit. And then they do their intro, they walk to the ring, and then weirdly when we come back off a break, we go to another backstage promo. Like those guys must have been in the ring waiting for like a good 5 or so minutes, because Daniel Bryan's walking along and he's stopped by Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura. Zayn's like, come on man, I need an answer from you tonight, especially now that I know Bray Wyatt's going to be watching the Miz TV with you in it later. Like, we need to know, are you joining us or not? Just join us. Join us, Cultaholic. Sammy's really laying it on thick, and then Bryan's like, you know what, no, if you really cared about me so much, if you really wanted me, and you really thought that I was your friend, and you thought that you could help me, then why the hell did you run away last week when the Fiend attacked me? And Sammy's like, and starts digging a hole. Bryan says, look, I am not joining you. I do not need your help, but I've got the perfect person for you. The person that should join you. You should go after him because he might need your help. And then he's like, yeah, who is it? He's like, it's Braun Strowman. And then Bryan walks off and he's like, Braun Strowman, are you kidding me? Guy's like a total meathead. And then the camera pulls out to reveal that Braun Strowman's been stood there behind Sami for pretty much the whole promo. And yeah, Sami once again digs a hole and then gets the hell out of there. So finally the bell rings and they can actually move and do stuff rather than just stand in the ring and wait for ad breaks to end, and the Revival are really strong in the get-go. Kofi is trapped and isolated by the pair of them. They just beat him down, and this goes on all the way through the break. Big E eventually does get in on a hot tag though, cleans house. He does get planted with a DDT, and then there's like a double down, and then Kofi gets in on a hot tag. Things then just start to ramp up. We get to a point where it's like really cool actually. It's another like shining example of the Revival's timing. Kofi goes for a midnight hour only to get cut off, like nailed in midair. The Revival attempt their double DDT on Big E only for him to send them to the outside, and then he like throws Kofi. They do that like assisted dive. The only problem is that Kofi gets caught and driven into the ring post. Big E is then very swiftly driven into the announce table following that. There's then a really nice moment where the Revival looks super strong, looks like that's it, done. They hit the shatter machine, Kofi comes off the top to stop it, but it's all for nothing because the Undisputed Era jump the barricade and start laying both teams out. They properly go to town on it until loads of guys from the locker room come sprinting down and they escape through the crowd. I'm going to give this one a B+. The match itself was pretty good, had its moments, but that finish was glorious. We all know they're two very capable, very well-acquainted teams, and, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they extend this feud a little bit longer after the old Survivor Series, because really this rematch has just been ruined by those dastardly NXT lads. The Era got such a pop here as well, it was great. And then we go back to the ring for Heavy Machinery versus two local competitors, and their names are, I am so sorry, my memory is terrible, Kevin Tibbs and Kip Stevens. So there's no real way to say this other than Heavy Machinery clean up. Of course they do, they're up against local competitors. There's one point where they do this really cool delayed vertical suplex. They each grab a guy and then they like cheers, like toast them as if they were two glasses. Otis hits the caterpillar and then they hit the compactor to pick up the win. This one gets to see squashy, squashy, squash, squashy, squashy, see. You know, it's great to see them still look like beasts, but I really want you to start elevating these guys soon. I want to see them with the belts. I really want to see Otis with a belt. So we go to Sasha and Bayley backstage, and the interviewer's like, Bayley, you turned up and you like attacked Becky, you attacked Shayna, like, yeah, like you must be taking this quite personally. She got attacked first by Shayna. Of course she's going to take it personally, and she's a bit of a knob now, so she's just going to go take out Becky anyway for the lols. But Bayley essentially says, I'm a force to be reckoned with, and she's going to beat Nikki Cross tonight and take her space and be on Team SmackDown and pull double duty and all of that nonsense. Sasha runs down Cross and she says, you know, like every single time Bayley's faced her, like she always has a go at me being at ringside, so I won't be at ringside tonight. But just an aside, this interview really legitimately felt like it was being conducted at gunpoint. I don't know if it was just like a quick, oh crap, we got fill time, just put them in. It just felt like sort of, I'm going to go and do this. Like, it just sort of, there didn't seem to be much thought behind it. It was a little bit blocky and a little bit awkward, and it's annoying because I really, really like heel Bayley. I want to get behind her. I don't think she even needs to speak much. She never really spoke much anyway. She just needs to be a dick. We already know her motivations. She's sick of the fans. She's sick of everybody having one sort of expectation about her. Just sort of let her be. But then we go down to the ring for Nikki Cross versus Bayley. So Bayley gets sent straight to the floor. She grabs Nikki as Nikki comes out the ring. She drives Nikki into the ring steps, and then she stops in her tracks. She's like, whoa, whoa, because who's jumped the barricade? It's Shayna. She starts sprinting in the opposite direction, trying to escape from Shayna, and she jumps into the other side of the crowd, and she's like, haha, see you later. But when she turns around, Team NXT are all stood behind her, and she's like, oh god! They attack Bayley, they storm the ring. Sasha, who wasn't supposed to be at ringside, jumps up from ringside. Yeah, it just devolves into a big old fight, and then they try and run off through the crowd, and Sasha gets on the mic and she's like, no, where do you think you're going? Back here right now, let's just do it now. 4 on 4, let's go. And when the match starts, Team NXT are able to overcome early. They grab Carmella, they isolate her in their corner, and they just beat her down. Sasha's able to get the tag though, and she takes it straight to Tegan Knox. Can't believe Tegan Knox is on SmackDown. This is just surreal. And then Rhea Ripley gets in, she takes it to Sasha. Sasha locks in a bank statement on Ripley, and Ripley just rolls through it and back to her feet. She looks dominant as hell. The match at this point falls apart. Everybody jumps in the ring, and we got a bit of a brawl going on. The referee's in the middle going, whoa, stop it, as we go to the advert. When we come back off the break, SmackDown are firmly in control with Nikki taking it to Rhea Ripley and Dakota Kai. Everybody then starts hitting their specials. I'm going to try and get this in the right order. Banks wipes out Ripley, Kai wipes out Nikki. Nikki then, out of nowhere, hits the neck breaker and picks up the 3. It's like super quick, surprising ending, and I like that. I really like that because it's such an opportunistic move. Just boom, twist, pin, like from nowhere. I miss finishes like that. I'm going to give this one a B+. I really enjoyed seeing Team NXT come together here to put SmackDown firmly on watch. Rhea Ripley looked incredible here. They were really bigging her up as a star of the future. Like, NXT has never seen a competitor like Rhea Ripley. She looked so dominant in that match. It was her and Knox were sort of the featured players, but Ripley, Jesus, like, she is going to be a very, very big star one day. And as well, this was crazy enough already, so when we add Raw to the mix, this Survivor Series, seriously, I can't wait. All the 3-way sort of matches are going to be insane. And then we go to the ring for, I guess, tonight's main event, Miz TV featuring Daniel Bryan. So Miz asks Bryan, why did the Fiend attack you? Bryan says, nothing. He's like, come on, you must know why the Fiend attacked you. And Bryan, again, just looking at his shoes, he's like, nothing. So the Miz says, well, okay, if you're not going to talk, then let me tell you why I think the Fiend attacked you. He says, look, you are unstable. You are mentally unstable. You are not the same person you were 10 years ago. What are you? Are you the underdog that leads the yes movement? Are you this crotchety old man that tells us we need to recycle? Who are you? Not even you know who you are. Miz then says the Fiend attacked you because he sees that you are washed up, and then Bryan bites. He's like, no, shut up. Bryan says the reason that he's quiet is because Miz TV sucks, and Miz TV has always sucked. This got a mixed reaction from the crowd. I quite liked it. But Bryan says, you're right, I'm not the same man I was 10 years ago. I'm not the leader of the yes movement. I don't even know who I am anymore. I am completely unstable, and therein lies the reason that the Fiend attacked me. You see, me and the Fiend, we're the same. Me and Bray Wyatt are the same. Me and the Fiend are the same. We're mentally unstable. The reason that he targeted me is because we're one and the same. There's a point where the Miz tries to talk over the top of him, and he just starts screaming, shut up, shut up, shut up in his face. Sort of shades, but reversed of the talking smack moment. I really liked that. They then get cut off by Firefly Fun House, and Bray tells Bryan, you know, you're being quite rude talking about somebody while they're not present. He says your theory could be right. That could be the reason the Fiend attacked you, or he could have attacked you to remind you of what you did, because he certainly remembers what you did. He opens up a toy chest, just random toys, a saw, all this stuff, and he pulls out the new blue Universal title. He tells Bryan, you know, Bryan, you can come and play. You can always come and play, while he's clutching the belt. He's like, you just need to say that one little magic word. And the crowd here just start chanting, yes, 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 yes. Bryan's like, no. Bryan's like, I'm not playing these games with you. If you want to face me, if you want to have a match, let's have a match, but it's for the Universal title. And Bray stands back for a moment and he's like, all right then. And then he just starts going, yes, 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 but he starts screaming it like he's delusional, like he's fully lost his marbles. He doesn't stop screaming it. He just keeps going and going pretty much until like a couple of seconds before we go off air. When Firefly Fun House stops, The Miz announces the match for Survivor Series, and Miz TV this week gets an A. I absolutely loved it. Miz is solid gold, Bryan is solid gold, Wyatt is solid gold. The callback to like the screaming in the face and talking smack, the like teasing the crowd with the yes, like Bray doing the yes like a delusional nutter. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And in terms of an overall grade for SmackDown this week, looking at all the other grades, I guess it's just going to be a straight up B+. It was a strong week, but not the strongest. The weird Team SmackDown, Team NXT thing was really cool. I enjoyed that. Miz TV was fantastic, but yeah, everything else was just sort of par for the course. B+. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You can follow Cultaholic on Twitter @Cultaholic. You can check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you like what we do here at Cultaholic, you can check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/Cultaholic. And no matter what you do, don't ever forget to hit subscribe and join us.